Growing up, I would be at church, Doc. I'm ashamed to say this, but let me say it because somebody's going to...
Pastor, are you not throwing me in the lion's den?
No, it's fine because we are basically trying to transform
my name
each
is
other.
Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, after all. So, I'll be at church on Sunday.
Yes.
From morning, I'm rehearsing with the choir. At 14 hours, I'm with the youth department. At 16 hours, I'm with the main choir. Monday, I am singing in a quartet and a youth choir. Tuesday, I'm singing in a choir. Wednesday, it's a youth choir. Vespers, prayer band. Then rehearsal for the quartet afterwards. Thursday, church choir. Friday, it's male chorus, Vespers, and Saturday, we are at church the whole day. And it felt good, but I was all over doing this and that. In the end, I realized that this is not actually helping me in any way to grow. So I want you to speak to us, people like me, who want to do everything, even at church, at home, at play, and everywhere, without really following what they have planned for the year. And they get distracted along the way.
That's true. My pastor, I should have actually mentioned that one of the greatest distractors in life towards goals is religion. And I should mention that religion, when approached without wisdom and understanding, has destroyed many people's lives. Let me bring it home. Church, approached without wisdom and understanding, has destroyed many people's lives. Now, there are many people whose lives have been destroyed by church when you approach church without wisdom. Guess what? Church has enough programs to keep you busy from Monday to Monday.
That's true.
So if you lack wisdom, you'll be occupied from Monday to Monday. As we are speaking right now, there is a church somewhere hosting some program. It could be a week of prayer, it could be a crusade, it could be a seminar. At any given point, there are church programs. But there's something I got to realize growing up. Number one, the pastor is not at church every day.
He's a church worker.
My pastor, I woke up when I realized that the pastor, who is a church worker, is not at church every day.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the church member who is not a church worker is at church every day in certain spaces. And unfortunately, in the church, sometimes nobody will come and tell you to say, you are overdoing things. This is too much.
We need the Daniel.
You know, people will just watch you. Your elder will watch you, and they'll be happy that you are contributing to what is happening. But you need to put things in context. So, when I was in grade 7, one day we are at AY, and I'm busy doing drills, my pastor, and yet the following day I'm writing an exam. Dad came and collected me and my elder brother from AY and whipped us.
Wow.
Now, Dad was collecting us and whipping us from AY, was himself the first elder. His wife was the Dorcas leader. And he collects his children from AY and whips them. He says, tomorrow you have an exam at 7 hours, at 8 hours. You are here from 14 to 17 doing drills, right turn, left turn. That's lack of wisdom. Now, I should mention this again, maybe now from a biblical perspective, for those that understand Adventist theology.
Right.
Of all the days that you have in the week, it is only one day that God requires you to be at church, and that is on Saturday. Everything else is optional. Worship on Saturday is mandatory. It is a requirement by God. He requires you to worship him. And by systems we have created, we need you to be at church, at the synagogue, whatever it is called, present there. For our friends, maybe worship on Sunday, go on Sunday. But from Sunday to Friday, being at church, whether you are singing at a quartet or whatever, it is optional. It is not mandatory. I've seen a lot of young people, and if I'm to speak to my church particularly, who take things wrongly without wisdom, get themselves engaged to the level that they are accumulating all the badges in AY, except that they are accumulating no qualifications.
I
5
hear you.
years down your line, your sash is full, but your CV is empty. You have worked nowhere, you have no qualification, but your sash is scared. When you appear in the church, everybody thinks you are a 5-star general from Mozambique or everywhere. They want to run away because you have all these insignias on your shirt, but you have 0 insignia on your CV of where you have worked, 0 insignia of any qualification you have gotten. And as church leaders, by the way, for those that are listening, let me make this very clear. I am an invested master guide
Right.
who has trained many master guides, who has served at different levels of youth ministries. I was the Lusaka Conference Campus Ministries president for 2 consecutive terms. So I'm speaking as a person who is very active in the church. I'm an evangelist in this church,
Yeah.
whose ministry is very wide in and outside this church. But I have the wisdom to know that there is a time for everything.
Yeah.
There's a time to study, there's a time to work, there's a time to pray, there's a time to go to church. Don't mix these things.
All right. So then we are talking distractions. Really, we brought in that as a very serious issue because majority of us really have prioritized being at church on any given day, and then productivity is nothing.
zero.
And who would want in this world to remain unproductive? Because John also does mention really that I think this is what we'll be discussing as we start the 10 days of prayer, those that have gone through it, that God requires fruits.
Yes.
And remember, he cursed a tree
That had no fruit.
Yeah. So you realize at this particular time that God requires a fruit from every one of us. And how can we be fruitful if we are distracted? I want you